Welcome back to another episode on the Fitness Podcast. Today, this episode is about my multimodal project. Again, my name is Silvio Oliva Jr. The idea for this project is to educate and provide listeners with personal experiences relating to training, health choices, and stress relief. I plan to simulate a casual conversation with friends to create an authentic environment between my friends and listeners. Personally, I do incorporate both weight training, running, and some sports conditioning into my daily routine. I do this in order to train for my ROTC program and for my general health. Being able to exercise allows me to relieve stress, whether that be from school or relationships. I also personally have taken creatine in the past and have seen the health benefits. Those benefits being an increase in strength, allowing me to pull or push more weight when I'm in the gym. However, there are drawbacks. The drawbacks I have seen are the increase in water retention in my body, which allows for decent amount of weight gain and feeling lethargic at times. The goal of this podcast is to help listeners decide for themselves whether they should change their training methods or the reasons for working out and make better choices on their general health in the gym. I'm joined today by my friends and would like for them to introduce themselves.
I'm Josh.
My name is Diego.
I'm Hamlet.
And I'm Marcus.
All right, guys, let's get down to the questioning. Let's keep going. What types of training do you do, Josh? Whether that be weight training, running, or sports conditioning?
Me personally, I do like weight training and going to the gym. I used to do running, but I don't. I don't know. It just doesn't really do anything for me anymore. Kind of fell out of it, and I don't. I don't know. For me, I didn't see that much of a difference. Like maybe progressively through the week, or like throughout the weeks and months, a little bit. But for me, it just wasn't really doing much, or the goal I wanted to accomplish wasn't helping with that. So that's why I just stopped with the running. So I just do strictly weight training and going to the gym now.
Okay, okay. Now, what about you, Diego?
I also do weight training. I pretty much go to the gym Monday through Thursdays, hitting different parts of my body. I pretty much just focus to build muscle for mine, and at the end of it, I'll just walk it off, like do cardio for 30 minutes, walking from the campus of my school back home.
Okay. What about you, Hamlet?
So yeah, like my other friends, I'm heavy on weight training as well, but I also do love playing basketball and occasionally football. That's mixes in with my cardio as well. And just going on mile runs is also what I enjoy doing when either I don't want to do weight training or I just get bored in general.
Okay. Now, what about you, Marcus?
I like going to the gym personally, either when I'm bored or when I have the time, which is normally through Monday through Thursday. I do like playing basketball. It's been a hobby of mine, and it goes well with the cardio and being able to stretch and cool down from any conditioning of sorts through the weight training. And as well as that, I like to run sometimes when I have the motivation to, but besides that, it's mainly cardio and weight training.
Okay. Okay. Now, moving on to the next question. As I stated before, I personally do not take creatine anymore, and I would just like to hear you guys' responses on it. What about you, Josh?
I've never personally taken creatine, but I know people that have, and it's always like very popularized. I guess especially now because social media is very popularized and it's gotten more and more popular and all that. But I've never personally used it. I definitely thought about using it or like investing in it, but it's never gone beyond just like the thought or idea of starting on it.
Okay. What about you, Diego?
No, I don't take creatine at all. I just don't really pay attention to like proteins and all that. So I mean, I just take water to the gym and that's it.
Okay. What about you, Hamlet?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate on creatine. I got started a couple weeks ago, and honestly, for me the pros outweigh the cons. It gives me a lot of boost in energy. I can definitely lift more than what I would without on creatine. Uh, and it's just really enjoyable. I mean, I know you mentioned gaining weight and feeling kind of sluggish afterwards, but thankfully I haven't really had those side effects yet.
Okay, that's interesting. What about you, Marcus?
I'm not a big fan of it. I don't see the necessary reason to take it. I'd rather, if I'm trying to do something, I'd rather do it all natural and with my own time and do it my way instead of kind of using other tools to help me. And it just seems like it's more negative towards the like area of taking it, and I just don't find it necessary overall.
Okay, I understand your viewpoint. Now, moving on to our next question. Do you train for strength or aesthetics? And how does that relate to your stress relief?
Um,
Josh?
I'd say me personally, I definitely feel like I train for both. Like, I feel like it's kind of a double benefit. Like, the start of it, mainly me doing it was just to kind of feel more confident in a way about it, because it does obviously emphasize certain parts of you to for your looks. But then the other added benefit was the strength that came with it and being able to do more as you work out more. And then as for it being a way for stress relief, I definitely agree. It helps up stress, especially if you're someone who likes to store up your emotions inside you. It's definitely a way to let it out and just kind of let all that emotion into strength and effort within working out. So I'd say that's definitely a form of stress relief for me, at least, and I definitely do train for both aesthetics and for strength.
Okay. What about you, Diego?
I do it mostly for strength. I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't really care for how I look like. I mean, I don't really bother like with all the muscles will get people to notice me. I just pretty much do it for myself and try to build the body I wish I want to see.
Okay. What about you, Coco?
I do for both.
Coco. I know you as Coco.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I do for both because I do want to see like body improvement and obviously get more tone, but at the same time I want to build strength so I could have real world applications with those muscles that I build.
Yeah, I see that. Now, what about you, Marcus?
Honestly, I think it's just for the strength. I'm lucky to look the way I do, which is what some people would strive for or wish they could have, but I do sometimes do it for looks when I am
By the way,
a little,
everyone,
like,
he is
on the
very tall and Puerto Rican, so he looks very good.
yeah. Okay, thanks.
So unnecessary to mention.
Yeah,
He's taking
besides
notes.
His
that-
address is also
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead,
buddy.
Marcus.
But yeah, sometimes if I do lack confidence, I will do it for looks, and hopefully it will change my mind. But most of the time, I'm just a pretty chill guy, and I just do it for the strain. And overall, I know it would help because within my family, my family does have back problems, which I am trying to prevent later in my life, or just help in general in case anyone would ever need it.
Okay. Now, going back to that stress relief, how would you say that you fit in working out and how important, I guess? And I would want a little bit more in-depth reasoning on that, on those questions. Going back to Josh.
I'd say recently it's kind of, I definitely like gone to the gym, been more consistent with it now than I ever have been. Like before, I would start up and never really get anywhere. I was gonna maybe go for like a week, and then by the second week, fall off of it. But this time, I've definitely gotten more. As of recently, I haven't been able to just because more like time has become more straining and everything. But I've definitely been more consistent with it. But I definitely think like I don't know. Like, I definitely think it helps when you're busy with stuff. Like, not to, like, it helps you prevent doing things that can waste your time or can be unhealthy habits, and you develop healthy habits. Being more obsessed with going to the gym and, like, working out has definitely helped me, at least, with stress. So I'd say definitely that.
Okay. What about you, Diego?
Um, so I do know like a lot of people use the gym as like a form of to cool off, to get things out of their mind. But me, I don't really see it as like that. I mean, the times I do go to the gym is kind of to just focus on what I'm hitting for that day. It's not really my stress reliever because I can use other things to relieve stress, but as far as me, no, not really.
Okay. What about you, Hamlet?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate that going to the gym does relieve stress, and it definitely gets your mind off things like if you're having a rough day or just in general just not having a pleasant time with what you're doing. I mean, going to the gym is definitely a big help, and like it can clear your thoughts, it can clear your mind. Yeah, I do believe stress or going to the gym does relieve stress.
All right. Now lastly, Marcus.
Okay.
That is amazing input.
My fault. Sorry. My fault. Sorry. My fault.
You need
Fault,
me to repeat
everyone.
the
My
question,
fault.
or-
My fault. No. I was preoccupied for a second, but for me, it doesn't really help me because I don't really ever notice anything different whether I go to the gym or not. But I do understand where people come from, and it does take my mind off stuff. But relaxing or I guess calming in a way, it doesn't really apply to me personally. But I do see where people come from and how it can personally help them, and through friends as well, I've noticed that if you do go a lot more often, you may see different results. But I could be wrong. But yeah, that's just me personally.
Okay. Now I would like to get the group consensus on our previous questions. So what would you say is, I guess, the most benefiting training someone can do? Weight training, running, or sports conditioning? Me personally, I think weight training translates to a lot of things. And I do think that overall, it helps with health and increasing strength. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
I think it kind of depends on it, because I feel like weight training is more overall, while running and cardio stuff is more like for
Specific.
cardiovascular, like
Yeah.
heart and rhythm
Yeah,
and
it
stuff.
depends on what you're trying to do, because sorry, give me a second.
Okay.
I feel
Yeah.
like muscle training overall is good for everything, and it can also help with I know there was like that study done that doing push-ups and working on your muscles can really help your heart and like blood pumping,
Oh,
and
like the 100
like
push-ups
it
a
can
day
lower
thing?
the risk of
Yeah.
heart attack. Yeah, it can lower the risk of heart attack. But then I also know for running and cardio that can also help it. But I think overall, like weight training and you know all that would help more overall, especially because it can help with real world application, like being able to lift heavier and do more as far as pushing your body to its limit,
Like
and building the
endurance.
stronger muscle. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys would say
I
it's just more
agree, but
depends on what you do, like what you're training.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it depends on what you're going into.
So
Like
not one
sprinters,
concrete answer.
obviously
Okay.
have to work. Yeah,
especially
And
age or weight as well.
yeah, I would say those are really
The
two
like
big swing
the
factors.
older you are, yeah, if you're doing weight training, the older you are, it may be for a workout for like a 20-year-old, or maybe even a workout that we do could be 10 times as harder or as hard for someone who is older than us or is a little bit on the heavier side.
Yeah, I can see that. Now moving on to our next question. Creatine or no creatine? Me personally, I think creatine is an amazing tool to use if you are training
Absolutely.
consistently. I think that's one of the biggest things. Like it only works if you train consistently with it.
I
And
mean, I think
yeah,
consistency is like the main key when it comes to working out, regardless.
like I
But I
think you
feel like
shouldn't
if you're
expect
not going to the
results if you're
gym,
not exactly.
yeah, and if you're not going to the gym that often, don't invest in it because it's definitely a supplement for those who are really gonna push themselves to go constantly. Like,
Okay.
because if you're just kind of taking it, but you're not necessarily going as consistently, it's gonna pretty much do nothing. You know, like you really
Hmm.
have to like be consistent and push yourself while taking it, and that's like. But I mean, it is a natural supplement, so that's why a lot of people take it. So I mean, it's not necessarily bad. It's more up to preference. I feel like.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree personally. But depending on the person who takes its health could negatively impact them as well. That's what I view. You should always um, like change your not rations but your measurements of how much you take
How much
depending
you
on
take?
your
Yeah.
health or your conditions. Yeah, and
Okay.
sometimes people may not know that it could affect their health, which could be one of the negative parts.
I think like seeing a nutritionist before taking it could definitely help as
Yeah.
well, just so they could let you know for any. Because I've heard some people get side effects when they first start taking it because it does boost and things, but also it can kind of put your body off balance because it's an unnatural boost of things or like a sudden boost of a certain chemical in your body.
Hmm.
But I think for sure, I don't think it's a bad supplement. I just think more research needs to be done on your own personal side of things. Like, definitely go see a nutritionist, and then if you're gonna take it, definitely dedicate yourself to going to the gym more and being more consistent. Don't just
I agree.
take it if you're going maybe like once or like twice a week, or if your schedule is just inconsistent in general.
Hmm.
Don't take it. But if you're pretty much consistent with it and you can keep on it, then yeah, take it obviously. But in obviously in healthy dosages, and then again, seeing that nutritionist to provide any other info that maybe isn't talked about as much.
I agree. I think a common thing that kind of translates to this next question is we're seeing is like it's mostly dependent on the person and their reasons for training. Like the next question was,
Hmm.
Hmm.
do you train for strength or aesthetics? I think that just depends on the person's like goals, I guess. Like who doesn't want to look good, I guess. And obviously, in the past, I have made that decision of just training solely for strength, like instead of accessory workouts. It would just be Olympic lifts. But as of recently, I think it's better just to do an incorporation of both. That way, I can find that balance between feeling good, looking good, and just feeling um, strong in general. That's my basic stance on it.
I mean, I think for sure you were hitting it on the head. I have heard though, like a lot of people say, don't get into the gym just off for getting looks, because that will deteriorate fast. And like the thing with the gym is like you're not gonna always have that motivation. It's just building that discipline that you're always gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It and it just depends on the person, like you were saying. It's whether you have the motivation or you lack it, and yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Caleb,
lastly,
Like,
Caleb, do not. Okay, Caleb, we are doing a project right now. Actually, you can
Caleb, we're
help.
doing a fucking project.
Okay,
You
let's
had to
keep going
swear,
because these are really
really?
good. These are really good. Let's not ruin it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Lastly, the last question. I'm so sorry, teacher. Do you? How do you guys feel about training for a form as stress relief? I think that's a very great thing to do. It helps me relieve stress, and I know that it's a very productive way of doing it.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree. It just depends on the person. Like that's how it always is. It always depends on the person, who they are, and what they do.
I'd say it's definitely a better stress reliever even doing it with friends
Yeah.
too. Because I feel like it's a very unique experience going to the gym with friends.
Hey yo, because you
Like a
can
diff-
leech off of them as
It's like
well.
a different like energy and kind of environment to doing it.
Okay.
By going by yourself, you could be a lot more either melancholy or depressed or sad. But with
Or,
friends,
like-
it gives you more of the boost.
Yeah, like when you're alone, you can maybe be more self-critical of yourself.
Yeah, but with
Just
friends,
having,
they may
Like the
understand.
encouragement.
I
Yeah.
completely agree with you saying like going to the gym with friends is a great way to release stress because it's more of like a bonding thing. Well, I just want to say thank y'all for y'all's input. Again, I'd like for these guys to reintroduce themselves and say goodbye to our listeners.
I'm Josh.
I'm Diego.
I'm Hamlet.
And I'm Marcus.
And I'm
And
Josh.
thank you guys for watching
And thank you guys for
and
watching
listening.
and listening.
Thank you.